Okay, you ready? Alright, first one. So we're going to ease our way into this. Okay, we're going to do some easy ones first, and then they're going to get progressively more and more challenging as we work our way through. Okay, I know this is difficult, but you know, just give it your full attention, all the effort that you can, and hopefully you'll be able to at least get something out of this. All right. So number 12, 5x squared equals 80. What do I need to do first?
Divide by 5.
Divide by 5. Okay. So I'm going to divide this by 5. I'm going to divide this by 5, and that tells me that x squared must equal 16. All right. And so if x squared equals 16, then that means that x is.
Is it here? 4.
Hold on a sec. Let's solve this, and then I'll answer that question. Okay, it's what? 4 and negative 4. Okay, say that again now, Courtney. Yeah, so you could, when we get to x squared equals 16, you could write that as x minus 16 equals 0. And what would that factor into? X plus 4 and x minus 4. And so because of that, what would our two answers be? Negative 4 and 4. Did you have an intervention already with it?
Yeah,
okay.
We had a conversation.
All right, good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so Courtney, do you understand you can get the same answer either way?
Yeah.
Okay. So whichever way is easier is fine with me. Okay, next one is the same one. Now I mentioned, same kind of one. I mentioned yesterday that when you're doing squaring and square roots, that was the answer, plus or minus 4. Yeah. When you're doing squaring and square roots, fractions are better a lot of the time than decimals, okay? Because if you start this one just like you started the other one by dividing both sides by 9, and then you'd say x squared equals 25 divided by 9 does not come out evenly, okay? So your temptation might be then to figure out what it is as a decimal and then take the square root of that. But if you leave it as 25 over 9, what's the square root of 25? 5. And what's the square root of 9?
3.
Yeah. Okay, so then your answer will be, whoops, that's x, not x squared, plus or minus 5/3. Okay? So when you're working with these problems, I know that your instinct, and it's a good instinct, has been to change fractions into decimals when you can. This might be an exception to that. Keep them as fractions and the math might be easier. So I'm going to call him Byron because he raised his hand. Yeah.
And we just get rid of the 2 right there?
Took the square root of both sides. So the square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of 9 is 6. Okay? Rachel? What was your question? Oh, okay. Byron, I do have to tell you that picture of you in the senior hallway just cracks me up every time. Yeah, Toy Story 1.
Perfect.
That's what it sounds like.
It's totally awesome.
Wait, which one?
He's
Big guy.
Prospector Pete.
Yeah.
Oh, of
I
course.
think it's awesome. You guys haven't seen that? Oh, looks great.
That's
awesome.
Anybody see it on?
Nope. I didn't see that. All right, number 18. Now we're going to do a little word problem. It says a rectangular swimming pool is 6 feet deep. One side of the pool is 2.5 times longer than the other. So here is our swimming pool right there. And then it's got some depth to it. So we got to have another thing going
Do you
here.
recommend drawing a picture always?
Yes.
Okay.
Me too.
Siempre. What just happened to my swimming pool?
That's definitely a swimming pool out of that.
I still can make a pool out of that?
I'll put water in it.
It's all blue already.
I've seen a square pool.
Okay, there we go. So the depth of this bad boy is 6 feet. How long, how wide is this?
Okay, I'll look it up.
X.
What does that say, 6 feet?
Yeah, this we don't know. It's X, and if that's X, how wide is that? X times 2.5, because it says it's 2.5 times longer than the other. Okay? So So how do you figure out the volume of a rectangular solid? Multiply all three dimensions, right? So the volume of this is going to be x times 2.5x times 6. Whoa, 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 whoa. Time out.
No,
Yes?
that's her. She does
I
have
know.
time. I do half times.
You do half time? Okay. Quinn, did you have a question?
I was just gonna say, like, why isn't it squared?
It will be in a second. Okay? So we're about to do that. So now we're going to simplify this. So 2.5 times 6 is...
Wait.
No, I lied.
2.5 times 6 is...
Why are you doing that? The thinking about it for the x's. Yeah.
What?
Can you do the 2.5x times x?
Yeah, 2.5x times
So why
x.
are you doing 2.5x
I'm
times
going
x?
Because it's, I'm multiplying the numbers together first, and then I'm going to multiply the x's
I
together.
said 15.
So 6 times 2.5 is 15, x times x is x squared, and so that is the volume of the pool. How much water will the pool hold?
2160.
Right, so we're going to take this expression that we came up with for the volume of the swimming pool and set it equal to the amount of water, okay? And so now we have just exactly like we did over here. A number times x squared equals a number. So what do you do first? Divide both sides by that number. So x squared equals 144. And then take the square
Wait,
root.
where'd you get 15 at? Oh, never mind.
6 times 2.5.
How did you get the big one?
Oh, it's right
Oh,
here.
it's in the problem? Okay.
Yeah.
I did near mine.
Okay, so x squared equals 144. That means x equals what?
X equals 12.
12. Okay? So the problem says, yeah, what are the dimensions of the pool? So one of the dimensions is 12 feet by, what's another dimension of the pool? 6 feet, good, because it's 6 feet deep. By, where'd you get 30? 2.5 times 12 is 30. So the dimensions of the swimming pool are 12 by 6 by 30.
Why did you times it by
One question at a time. What?
Why did you times it by 12?
Why didn't I times what?
Why
by 12?
did you? 2.5 times
Oh,
x.
right.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
x is
Okay,
12.
so x is
Okay.
12, 2.5 times x. Gotcha. Thank you, Tabitha. What did you say, Quinn? Oh, perfect. Same question. All right.
You should have let us ask it at the same time, because that would have been cool.
Yeah, and it would have been really understandable also. All right, so now we are going to solve equations. And I know that these equations, you can solve them the way that we've been doing it before. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to give you a simple situation so you can learn the process that we're going to use to solve more complex ones, okay? So Courtney might want to subtract 4 from both sides and then do what two things multiply together to be -3 and add to be -2, and that'd be fine. You could do this that way, but we're going to get to ones where you can't do it that way. So we're learning this process with an easy equation first, okay? So x squared minus 2x plus 1 factors into what? X minus 1 times x minus 1, because -1 times -1 is +1, and -1 plus -1 is -2, okay? Okay, so then since these are both the same, like Courtney said, you can rewrite this as x minus 1 squared equals 4. And then how do I get rid of the squared? Square root both sides. So the square root of x minus 1 squared is x minus 1. And the square root of 4 is 2. Or, what else is the square root of 4? -2. So we get two different equations to solve here. So that's going to give us two answers, which is what you should expect most of the time from a quadratic equation. So if it's x minus 2 equals 2, you add 1 to both sides and get x equals 3. And if it's x minus 1 equals -2, you add 1 to both sides and get -1. Okay? So the two answers are 3 and -1. In other words, if I plug 3 into here, I'll get 4 as an answer. If I plug -1 into here, I will also get 4 as an answer. Tiana, where did you run into trouble? We got the whole thing. You're just totally bored.
No, this is like.
Okay, so same deal here. So I'm going to take x squared minus 12x plus 36, and I'm going to factor it first. What does that factor into?
Wait, no. 9 and 4. No.
Nope.
It's not 9 and 4. It's like
Somebody help her.
12 and 3. No.
6 and
6.
6 and 6. So this is going to be x minus 6 times x minus 6.
Why?
Okay? Because negative 6 times negative 6 is 36. And negative 6 plus negative 6 is negative 12. Okay?
Oh.
Alright, so now since these are both the same again,
So
I
it
can.
has to multiply to get that one and then add to get that one.
Yep.
Okay.
So this would be x minus 6 squared equals 25. Okay? Right, so now that I have something squared equals a number, I'm going to square root both sides. The square root of x minus 6 squared is x minus 6. The square root of 25 is 5. Or x minus 6 could be negative 5. Okay? So if you go x minus 6 equals 5, add 6 to both sides, and one of my answers is 11.
What does that say?
Or if you have x minus 6 equals negative 5, add 6 to both sides, you get x equals 1. So my two answers in this case are 11 and 1. All right? How are we doing? Good. Okay. This is supposed to be the easy stuff. We're not super challenging yet.
I'm so mindful. That's something just thought.
All right, 27. So same thing. I'm going to start by factoring the stuff on the left. But now instead of having an x squared, I have a 9x squared. So I'm going to cheat. I'm not going to do it that way. Okay. What do you want in front to make 9x squared? What times what is 9x squared? 3x and 3x. And then what times what is 16?
4.
4 and 4. And this is going to work because if I FOILed this back out, 4 times 3x is 12x. And 3x times 4 is also 12x. And so I would add those together and get 24x. Are you sure you were going to? I think you were. What?
We're no mental.
What?
What about the 16? You don't have to do anything with that?
The 16 is broken down in the 4 and the 4.
Okay.
The 9 is hidden here in the 3 and the
That's
3.
crazy.
And the 24 is in the 3 and the 4 and the 3 and the 4.
Gotcha.
Okay, got it? All right, so once again, because those came out to be the same, I can rewrite it as 3x plus 4 squared equals 36. So since I have something squared equals a number, what do? Square root both sides. What's the square root of 36? 6. Or, what else is the square root of 36? Negative 6. So I get two equations. 3x plus 4 could equal 6. Or 3x plus 4 could equal negative 6. How do I solve this one?
You subtract 4 and then divide by 3.
Okay, so 6 minus 4 is 2. And then I divide by 3. 2 divided by 3 is 2/3. Okay? How do I solve this one? Same way, subtract 4. But this time, since it's negative 6 instead of 6, it's going to be negative 10. And then if I divide that by 3, I get negative 10/3. Because negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10.
Can you do it the other way still, like times 9 times 16?
Uh-huh, and you get the same answer.
Are you kidding me?
No, I said.
That you didn't call me.
Can you negative 6
I like.
Huh?
Can you negative 6 minus
I have the other girl.
Yeah, negative 6 minus 4, negative 10.
about 4 minus 6?
But that's not.
Probably because it was like my first time.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so now we are getting slowly into the more complicated stuff. Okay? So for number 30, you're supposed to find the number that would go into the box there that would allow us to factor that into two things that are the same. Okay, yeah, to factor it into a perfect square. So, what?
16.
So the way you have to do that is you take this number and cut it in half, which is negative 12, and then you square it, which is 144. So the answer here is 144, okay? And the reason why that completes the square is because now, what does x squared minus 24 plus 144 factor into if we were going to do it? X minus 12, good, times x minus 12, or x minus 12 squared. So putting that 144 there allows us to break it down into two factors that are identical. Okay, so that's why that's called completing the square. So how would I complete the square if I had x squared plus 4x?
So that was the
4x.
square was.
Wait, what's 30? What was the answer to that?
144.
Oh, that was the answer.
That's the answer.
Right?
Always going to be positive, because when you square a number, whether it's positive or negative, you always get a positive number. What? Okay, so the answer to that one is 4, because how could I factor that? X plus 2, x plus 2. Okay, because 2 times 2 is 4, 2 plus 2 is also 4. All right? Okay, so now we are going to put that into action here. So we're going to solve these quadratic equations by completing the square. And so this is where things get a little bit dicey. The reason why we need to do this is because there are no numbers, no whole numbers, that multiply together to be 2 and add to be 4. So we can't just factor this. It's more complicated, okay? So the first step is to get the number on the other side. So separate the x's and the numbers. Okay, then we do the same thing we did in the last two problems. How do I complete that square? And if you cut it in half and square it, what do you get? 4. Okay, so half of 4 is 2, squared is 4. So good, if I add 4 to the left side of the equation, then I need to add 4 to the right side of the equation to keep it being equal. Okay? No, because I'm not taking this plus 4 and moving it over there. What I'm doing is I'm saying, before I put those 4s on there, if we go back to the whole balance thing, this thing and this thing would like balance each other out, right? So if I put a plus 4 on there, now this side on the left is way heavier, and so it sinks that way until I balance it back out by putting a plus 4 there. Now it's
So are you going to add plus 4 on just
like
on
the
that
owl in
side,
Candy
not on
Crush.
that side?
But you,
Anybody?
but then you have
Anybody? No? What'd you say, Quinn?
But
because if you're getting rid of
now
one, that's
it's
how you
plus 1
minus
on that
4.
side and on that side, or you
Yeah, if you
just
get rid
like.
of one of those.
So now they're balanced again, and so
Yeah, is that a question?
I'm still not
Are you going to
understanding
add like
why
terms?
yes, I am going to combine like terms. Scott, what's your question?
why is it plus 4?
Aldrich, just a question.
Why, hold on.
I'm still like,
Okay, why is it what?
there's a plus 4 after the x.
Right here?
No, before.
This one?
Yeah. So
Well, that's that right there.
Yeah, when you put negative. No.
Oh, no, that's what Quinn was asking too. I'm not taking this and moving it to the other side.
Okay.
Okay? I'm adjusting this equation so that it looks something like these right here. You see how this was really nice because it factors into x minus 6 times x minus 6? So what I want to do is I want to take this ugly thing here, x squared plus 4x, and make it so it will factor into something nice. Okay?
Okay, I kind of want to have mine in the future.
So now that we have it, now that we have completed the square on the left-hand side, and I really appreciate you guys' questions. Keep them coming, okay? That's important. What does the stuff on the left factor into? X plus 2 times x plus 2. Because just like we did on the other problem, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 plus 2 is also 4. Okay? And then somebody said, are we going to combine like terms? Absolutely. Negative 2 plus 4 is 2. Okay? What?
Or like having a smaller class.
I know I've seen that too, that if it was like this every day, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, we would miss the people who are
Oh,
home.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, those people.
No.
Okay, so x plus 2 times x plus 2 is what?
X plus 2 squared.
X plus 2 squared, so that equals 2. Okay, right, so just like we did with the other equations, since I have something squared equals a number, how do I get rid of the squared? Square root it. What's the square root of x plus 2 squared? X plus 2, because the squared and the square root cancel. What's the square root of 2? Nobody knows! So we're just going to leave it as plus or minus the square root of 2.
I did that.
Okay? Yep.
Well, then it's in-
No, because we need to know what x equals, so I have to get rid of this 2. So how do I get rid of that 2? Subtract 2 from both sides. So now, final answer is negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2. And you can do plus or minus the square root of 2 minus 2, but the convention is to have the number first and then the square root. Okay? So you would not be marked down wrong on a test if you had it the other way around, but this is how you will see the answers written. Okay? All right, so now that you've seen it from top to bottom, let's try another one, and hopefully it'll start to make sense to you. But like I said before, yeah, I know. Keep asking me questions, okay, if you don't know what I'm doing. All right, this one is not set up to go yet. What do I have to do first? Subtract 10x from both sides.
We have to subtract it because it's an x in front of it.
Yeah, exactly correct. So x squared minus 10x plus 12 equals 0. Okay. Normally, we would look at that and say, okay, two numbers that multiply together to be 12 and add to be negative 10. But unfortunately, there are no whole numbers that will do that. So now we go into complete the square mode. And so to do that, I'm going to take this 12 and get it over there onto the other side. Okay? Right, and now I am going to complete the square. So half of 10 is 5, and 5 squared is 25. So since I add 25 to the left, what do I have to do to the right? I also add 25 over there to keep both sides equal. What does x squared minus 10x plus 25 factor into?
Negative 5.
X minus 5 times x minus 5. And I believe I told you this yesterday. This number right here
13.
will always be half of that number there. Okay, here's my whole point. We just combine our like terms here.
Oh, you subtract it?
Yeah, negative 12 and 25.
Okay. I was being serious.
Okay, I thought you were talking to Rachel about her whole obsession there. All right, so now we're ready to finish this up. X minus 5 times x minus 5 you can rewrite as x minus 5 squared. So since I have something squared equals a number, square root both sides. What's the square root of x minus 5 squared? X minus 5.
Wait, is this the same equals?
Yep. Equals plus or minus the square root of 13. Okay? And then my last step is how do I get rid of that 5?
Up there.
Whoa, man, that's weird. All those 13s on 5 and 13. Add 5.
I didn't know.
I just realized that.
I was like, what's up with
Are you serious?
Yeah, Friday the 13th doesn't
I
even like matter
guarantee you.
anymore.
Sir,
We're
when
not
I go to
even.
work, there will be a black cat.
Apparently,
I bet.
Rachel is the only person left who's superstitious.
We had a black cat.
I've been having a bad day.
I don't know if you saw her, but she was so mean. So mean. Wait, what?
It's a great day.
All right, so let's try another one.
Yeah, but
Ate my face.
Okay. 2x squared plus 2x minus 5. What?
5.
So what do I have to do to get it right? What do I have to do to start with?
minus x squared?
I have to subtract x squared from both sides.
So then it's just x squared.
Right, 2x squared take away 1x squared is x squared. Plus 2x minus 5 equals 0. And then again, you would like to say what two numbers multiply together to be negative 5 and add to be 2. But you can't, okay? So now we have to do this completing the square thing. So I'm going to rewrite this as x squared plus 2x equals 5. Okay? What do I add to both sides?
2, 1.
1. Because half of 2 is 1, and 1 squared is 1.
So we're adding 1 again.
Yep.
Always add.
Yep,
Always.
always.
Because
Siempre.
negative,
Okay.
it makes positive.
Yes.
All right, so what does x squared plus 2x plus 1 factor into? X plus 1 times x plus 1, or x plus 1 squared. And that's going to equal 6, because I need to combine my like terms, okay? Okay, then yes, I'm going to square root both sides. The square root of x plus 1 squared is x plus 1. And the square root of 6, since we don't know that as a whole number, is plus or minus the square root of 6.
So it's going to be x equals -1 plus or minus square root of 6.
Awesome. Oh my god, that 6 came up again. That is weird.
Whoa.
And look, there's
no.
3 of
Oh,
them.
wait,
Just this.
I'm serious. I told you
Just this.
6.
Yeah, there's 3 of them too.
666 again.
I've never
Dude,
told
he's
you guys
summoned the
anything
devil.
Only
again.
26.
We should be
He's
so
summoned the
lucky.
devil into town. Sonny.
All right, let me look around the room here.
He's here.
I'm gonna go.
Scott.
Yeah.
Scott.
Yeah, me.
Scott.
If I get
Yeah.
5 people that understand this problem, that's pretty good. Okay?
Oh, yeah,
Because
got
now
it.
what's happening is totally.
Different.
It's not different, but it is kind of. What's different about this problem that always screws us up?
It has 25 in the beginning.
The 25 in the beginning. Anytime there's a number in front of the x squared, that's gonna cause you problems. You're gonna have a bad time. Okay? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna factor that out. Okay? So that leaves me x squared. And then the question is, how do you factor 25 out of 30? Because it doesn't go in there evenly, okay? And the answer is, you need to think to yourself, what you're trying to figure out is 25 times what makes 30. So 25 times some number equals 30. Slow down.
1.2.
How do you figure that out?
You divide.
You divide by 25, so the number that we're looking for is 30 divided by 25, which is 1.2. But I told you, when we're doing these, it's best to leave them in fraction form. Okay? So when I factor out that 25, then what I'm left with in here is 6/5 x. Okay? Like I said, if I get 5 of you, if I get more than 5, I'm feeling good. I should get 5. Okay? All right, so now we need to complete the square. Well, what's half of 6/5? No, as a fraction. 3/5. Okay? 6/5 means you have 6/5. So if you want half of that, now you only have 3/5. Okay? So that would be, whoops, sorry. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you. 3/5 squared is 9/25. Okay? We always square it. Completing the square. All right. So the problem here is, since this 9/25 is inside the parentheses, I don't add 9/25 over here. I add 25 times 9/25. But what is 25 times 9/25? 9. Good, because the 25s cancel. So I'm actually going to add 9 over here. All right? And so now this factors into 25 times x plus. I told you it's always half of this number, so it's going to be x plus 3/5 squared equals 12 plus 9, which is 21. Okay?
Math makes you sound really smart.
Okay.
Why didn't you
Wait,
put a
you
9
can't
over
square root that.
25?
I can't, I'm so glad you said that. I cannot square root it yet. I've got to get rid of this 25. How do I get rid of that 25?
Divide.
Yeah, okay. Divide both sides by 25. So those cancel, and now I'm in business. X plus 3/5 squared equals 21 over 25. Okay? So just like we've been doing before, now I square root. So that gives me x plus 3/5 equals. And here's the fun part about leaving them as fractions. Go ahead.
It would be x plus 3 over...
Well, give me the square root of this first.
21 over 5.
Plus or minus square root of 21 over 5. Right, exactly. Because we know the square root of 25 is 5. Right? We don't know what the square root of 21 is, but we know the square root of 25 is 5. And what Courtney's getting excited about is when you subtract these 3/5, you already have a common denominator. All right? So my final answer is going to be -3 plus or minus the square root of 21 over 5. All right? Now, again, if I got more than 5, then awesome.
We have a very different kind
He
of
can
fun.
count for 5.
She can what? She can count for 5 because of her enthusiasm?
It's okay, Scott got it.
Scott got it? Good. Okay, he was one of the ones I was counting on.
I got it.
I just have one question.
I get it.
Okay, Quinn?
I'm kind of understanding it, but why isn't there, when you added 9, why didn't you add 9 over 25?
Because I have to add 9 over 25 times
Does it
25.
turn on the 11 parts?
Right, which is 9. Okay?
Maybe put it on.
Okay, all right, so enough of that. Now we're going to take and do the same kind of thing to write these in vertex form, okay? Now we did this before by using the negative b over 2a thing, but this is a different way that you can do it, okay? And if you can understand this, it's a little bit easier.
Can you use negative b?
Yeah, you could, and I would never know the difference, because if I look and I see you got the right answer, then we're good, okay? All right, so first of all, I'm going to factor out a negative. So that's going to leave me x squared plus 2x. And I'm going to leave some space, and I'm going to go plus 3. Okay, oh good, we got to the end of that. All right, now I'm going to do the completing the square game. So half of 2 is...
Stick eventually.
You can't time.
Why did
It'll stick.
What?
why did you put a 3 out?
On the other side?
Yeah.
Because now there's a y on the other side. Do you want me to put it on the other side with the y? I will.
No, please don't.
I can. It doesn't. Okay, I'm just going to leave it there. Yeah.
It's just wondering why you didn't factor the negative out of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because what I really, maybe I should have done it this way, is subtract the 3 first. Just like we did when we did the other ones, we got the x's all by itself, so I'm not messing with the 3. Okay, so these are buddies. Let's go from here, and it'll work out. Okay. So this is y minus 3 equals, I factor out the negative,
Throw it in
and
the
then
bathroom.
yeah, and then what do I need to add in here to complete the square? 1, because half of 2 is 1, 1 squared is 1. However, because of the negative on the outside, what did I actually do?
Oh, you subtracted.
I subtracted 1. So if I subtracted 1 over here, I have to subtract 1 over there. So negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. So this is going to now be y minus 4 equals negative, what does this factor into? X plus 1 quantity squared. And then all you need to do to get vertex form is take this negative 4 and bring it back over there. So y equals negative x plus 1 squared plus 4. What's the vertex of that parabola?
4.
Nope, it's an ordered pair, it's a point, 2 numbers. Negative 1, 4. Does the parabola open up or down?
Down.
Down, because that's negative. What is its so-called slope? Air quotes, slope.
Wait.
1. Okay?
Where did you get the slope from?
From this number right here.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's try another one of those.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Wait, so were we supposed to? 45. That was fun. Were we supposed to write
Well,
down
that's
the
before
x is 4 and then y is?
Nope, they just wanted it in vertex form. So your final answer is this right here. Okay, I was just trying to connect that with what we did with it before. All right, so let's do this again. So I'm going to take this negative 1 and put it on the other side. We're going to go y plus 1 equals negative x squared plus 4x. And now I'm going to factor out the negative again.
X squared is minus 4x. And then plus 2. Plus 4.
Okay, slow down though, Turbo. Okay, so yes, she's right. You have to factor out the negative. Okay, so that leaves you x squared minus 4x. And then to complete the square, what do I put in the parentheses? 4, right, because 4 cut in half is 2, 2 squared is 4.
That just says constant.
But I did not add 4 over here. I really subtracted 4, so that means I have to subtract 4 from that side also. What does this factor into? X minus 2 squared. Okay? What does 1 take away 4? -3. And so to finish this, to put it into the form that I'm looking for, what do I need to do with that -3? Add it to the other side. So y equals -x minus 2 squared plus 3. Okay? So if I asked you, I'm not asking you in this question, Rachel, but if you were asked what's the vertex of that parabola, you would say 2, 3. Because the -2 moves it 2 to the right. Inside the parentheses is opposite. And then it'd be up 3, and then yes, and it would be upside down the slope as well. Bingo!
We don't change it yet.
Okay, so we're done with that. Now we're going to work backwards a little bit. Okay? You're supposed to figure out what k would equal, so that if we cut it in half and squared it, we would get 100.
So unsquared is 10.
Unsquared is 10, and then doubled is 2, so that means k is 20.
Wait, what?
If this was a 20 in here, half of 20 is 10, 10 squared is 100. So that would make that work. So we're just doing it backwards. What number did I start with to end up adding 100 to both sides? Okay?
Okay, 15.
15.
I got some weird pregame rituals.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't hear it. Maybe I don't want to.
That song is in my head. Makes sense.
Y equals negative. Parentheses x.
Okay, how about this one right here? So yes, we're doing it backwards. So we ended up with 81 as an answer after we took the number, cut it in half, and squared it. What number did we start with? 18. Because the square root of 81 is 9. And the thing that we would cut in half to get 9 would be 18.
That's easy.
So that's 18.
Yeah, it's not like this. No, I do not like this.
I like these questions. Yeah.
All right, this one is a little bit wacky because once again, anytime you see a number in front of the x squared, that's going to cause a problem. So you have to think about this a little bit more.
So you have to factor it out.
Yeah, if I was going to factor this out, what would I have in front? A 3x and a 3x. And what would I have here and here?
Wait, I thought you had to. Why did
I would
you
have a -2 and a -2. So what does that make k equal? -2 times 3x is -6x. And then -2 times 3x would also be -6x. So if you add those together, you would get -12x. So k has to equal 12.
Wait, how'd you get the?
Well, because it's minus already.
Hey,
So.
couldn't you,
Okay.
hey, couldn't you just do 9 times 4 then just do what you did earlier?
Yes.
Alright, I thought that
Wait,
was
what?
easier.
He said we could have just gone 9 times 4 is 36.
What did we
And then
just
done
do
that thing we did before. Square root of 36 is 6, double it and get 12. Okay? Nice job. Easier way to do that.
Yeah.
You should be the teacher.
All right, so then we've got these right here, and I'm not going to make you do these because if you cut this in half, you get a fraction, okay? And I think maybe you have suffered enough already with that kind of stuff. So I want to do the last one, which is just a nice little friendly old word problem, and then we will call it a day. Okay?
You're gonna skip all of them?
Yep, so you do not have to do 63, 66, 69, or 72.
So they're not going to be in a test.
Good.
No, I'll try and track that.
Really?
I'll try. Yeah, I might fail, but I'll try.
I won't
Oh,
tell
can we
you.
go through
I'm
it
sure
then?
you will, yeah. I'm sure you will. All right, so one word problem and then we'll call it a day. Okay, so it says the quadratic function h equals blah, 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 models the height of a punted football. Write the function in vertex form. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing that we did before, except this time, since it's a word problem, the numbers are a little bit icky. Okay? What do I... That's -0.01. -0.01. I know it's bad writing, but you need to learn to look at the context. When you go to college, your
I thought it was
math
like a-
teacher's writing hope is going to be really bad.
Mr. Alden,
What do I do with the plus 2?
what is it? Oh, 0 what?
0.01.
Oh.
Okay? So h minus 2 equals negative 0.01 x squared, I'm aware, plus 1.18x. Okay? What am I going to factor out of this? Negative 0.01. Okay? What do I need to multiply by negative 0.01 to get 1.18?
I don't know.
One.
It'd be negative.
100.
It'll be negative something because we need a negative times a negative times a positive. Sarah, do you have it? Because we're completing the square, not setting it equal to 0.
Negative
It's
118.
negative 118.
Negative 118, good, yeah. Because this will move the decimal over 2 places. Okay? Whoops, sorry, that's x. Okay, right, so now we need to complete the square with that. So take it and divide it by 2 and square it. So 59 squared is
Oh my good lord,
What is
that's
it?
a big number.
3,481. Hi, Lindsay.
Hello.
Oh my gosh.
You just got a playroom?
Okay, so if I added 3,481 in here in the parentheses, but I have a negative 0.01 on the outside,
Kind of, I don't know.
shoot, what did I really do? What is negative 0.01 times 3,481?
Lower.
34.81.
Negative 34.81. So since I put a negative 34.81 here, I have to put a negative 34.81 there also. Okay? All right. What does this factor into? Yeah, this is a tough one. Do this with a word problem and all these decimals? Are you kidding me? What does this factor into? Always half of that number. X minus 59 squared. Okay, and now I'm going to bring this stuff back over here. So my final answer is h equals negative 0.01 times x minus 59 squared
Okay, 2 more.
plus 36.81. Okay? And now that we have it in vertex form, we can answer some fascinating questions about this problem. For example, what is the maximum height of the punt?
3,659.
No, and it's like
3,000?
It's the y coordinate of the vertex. So the maximum height that it's going to get is 36.81 feet. Okay? All right, then it says the nearest defensive player is 5 feet horizontally from the point of impact. How high must the player reach to block the punt? So we need to figure out how high off the ground the punt is after it has gone 5 feet. Okay? So I'm going to plug in 5 here for the x. So somebody with the calculator, negative 0.01 times 25 plus 1.18 times 5 plus 2, and tell me what you get. So just plug in 5 for x there.
We got 4 minutes.
Yeah, we're good. We're perfect. Come on.
golden.
That's
Golden.
low.
Okay, I lost it.
Sarah, you're our only hope. No,
I got
good.
Negative
It's
0.3.
not going to be negative.
I got
That would always-
6,800.
No, that's a pretty high number. I knew you could do it. 7 point what? Okay, so after the ball has gone 5 feet this way, it will be 7.65 feet in the air. So the person will only have to jump that high to be able to block the punt. All right, last one. Suppose the ball was not blocked but continued on its path. How far down the field would the ball go before it hit the ground? So here's the ball.
At its lowest.
What is this distance right here?
Well,
What is the x coordinate of the vertex?
5,
59.
9.
Okay, so it has gone 59 feet that way before it reaches its high point. How much farther will it go before it hits the ground? Another 59. So how far does the ball travel? 118. Turn in your assignment, please. No homework this weekend.